When will ISIS strike again? That's the question authorities around the world are asking themselves today after the radical Islamic group claimed responsibility for the terrorist bombings in Brussels yesterday. Now police in Belgium have arrested a suspect. Dale Hurd brings us the story.
Belgian police have arrested one of the suspects in the attack. The man shown wearing the hat is Najim Lakraoui. One day after a series of deadly attacks in Brussels, security was at its highest level, with soldiers checking passengers' belongings at the entrances of some of the metro stations in the city. This woman said, "I am absolutely not annoyed by this. If this needs to continue, there is no problem because it is for our security." 34 people died in the attack. 9 Americans were among the 250 wounded. American missionary Rocky Gathright told CBN News he had just dropped off a friend at Brussels airport when the blast occurred.
The second explosion seemed like it was right beside me. All the windows and all the glass just shattered and came exploding out towards the street.
Gathright went in to help and minister to victims, and he prayed with an airline employee. Police have identified 2 of the attackers as Khalid and Brahim Bakraoui. The brothers were known to police for past crimes, but nothing related to terrorism. Both blew themselves up in the attack. Khalid Bakraoui had rented an apartment raided by police last week in an operation that had led authorities to the top suspect in the Paris attack, Salah Abdeslam. The Belgian ambassador to the United States said that in those raids, police discovered evidence a major attack in Belgium was being planned.
There were indications that something was in the offing. A lot of heavy weapons have been found, which is an indication that something was perhaps being planned for the next few days.
But Belgian police were still not able to prevent an attack, and it has cast a spotlight on what some have called a shocking level of unpreparedness by Belgian authorities. An unnamed Belgian official told BuzzFeed News, "We just don't have the people. We don't have the infrastructure to properly investigate or monitor hundreds of individuals suspected of terror links, as well as pursue the hundreds of open files and investigations we have. It's literally an impossible situation, and honestly, it's very grave." A senior U.S. official reportedly said that Belgian authorities know they're sitting on a time bomb. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Thanks, Dale. While ISIS and its supporters celebrate the attacks in Brussels on social media, Christians from around the world are using the web to offer prayers for the city, the victims, and their families. And you can see that story on cbnnews.com. In other news, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton added to their leads in the presidential race in yesterday's primaries. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John.
Thanks, Wendy. Trump and Clinton came out on top in those primaries, but Ted Cruz and Bernie Sanders also won some victories. Frontrunners Trump and Clinton won the prized Arizona primaries, with Trump gaining all 58 delegates in that state. Meanwhile, Cruz won all 40 of the GOP delegates in Utah. And Sanders beat Clinton in both the Utah and Idaho caucuses, gaining a handful of Democratic delegates. Also today, former candidate Florida Governor Jeb Bush endorsed Ted Cruz, calling him a consistent, principled conservative who can unite the party. Well, Hillary Clinton may be on her way to securing the Democratic nomination, but she has a problem with young millennial voters who last year surpassed baby boomers as the largest generation in the country. Yet, as Jennifer Wishon reports, 2 presidential contenders seem to have no trouble wooing that voting bloc.
When it comes to the millennial vote, the numbers say it all. So far, the leaders are Senator Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. While Hillary Clinton scored big with the win in the Ohio primary, she lost big to Sanders, 81-19, among voters ages 18 to 29, proving that millennials are still feeling the burn. According to a USA Today Rock the Vote survey, 46% of millennial Democrats overwhelmingly support the Vermont senator. 26% of Republican millennials support Donald Trump. Analysts point to the anger theme of this election cycle as contributing to the Trump-Sanders phenomenon. But the millennials we talk to are drawn to Sanders and Trump for a different reason: jobs. Meet Abigail Kelly, a political reporter for Chase the Race, a team of millennials traveling the country covering the 2016 election. Kelly says Senator Sanders in particular speaks to the issues young people want to hear.
The young people support those two in particular because they're authentic in different ways, and I think these two candidates reach out to young people the most. You know, I think they, like with Senator Sanders and his college funding ideas.
Millennials we talk to across the country agree.
We're all affected by me having a job and my parents, paying for my tuition and whatnot.
Both campaigns have worked to meet young voters where they are, online. The Sanders campaign has 1.7 million Twitter followers and another 3 million on Facebook. Donald Trump, known for his fast Twitter fingers, has been called the Ernest Hemingway of 140 characters, with more than 6 million Twitter followers. But big numbers on social media don't necessarily equal real-life support. Dr. Ben Carson had virtually the same number of Facebook followers as Trump, but Carson's campaign is finished. It's the message that seems to resonate with young people.
Donald Trump's really just, he's like, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, and I'm all for that.
A lot of my friends, they're big Bernie Sanders supporters, and then I have a lot of friends that are Donald Trump supporters as well, because I feel like millennials, they like people that aren't as wishy-washy. That's a characteristic for our generation. We don't really like to have people that are riding the fence.
Another message resonating with millennials is socialism. According to a survey from Republican strategist Frank Luntz, 58% of young Americans see socialism as the most compassionate economic system. And this generation's potential impact is undeniable. Nearly 90% say they are extremely or very likely to vote in November. It's enthusiasm Kelly says she's noticed on the campaign trail.
The students around me are really into this. I think also because the kids my age, this is the first election they're really paying attention to, and also the media has made the information easier to get to. So kids are really excited.
And while they may not be known as the greatest generation, they are the biggest, making them a powerful voting bloc. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
A powerful voting bloc indeed. Thanks, Jennifer. The Supreme Court takes up a case today of faith-based groups defending their religious freedom against Obamacare. Religious nonprofits like the Catholic charity Little Sisters of the Poor object to the mandate from the Department of Health and Human Services that forces them to provide contraceptives and abortion-inducing drugs. They argue providing them violates their beliefs against abortion.
We are the believers. And so when we draw the line between action that is acceptable or unacceptable to our faith, we are the final and only judges of where that line belongs. So what we're saying to the government is, you have to respect our beliefs and give us an exemption from this mandate that would make us involved in activities we see as evil.
Only 8 justices will hear the case because of the vacancy left by the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. We'll have a report on the High Court's hearing on this case on tomorrow's 700 Club. Well, less than 3% of American adults are living even a basic healthy lifestyle. That's the finding from a study that tried to find out how many people follow just 4 simple principles of healthy living, including a good diet, keeping body fat under control, moderate exercise, and not smoking. The study found that just 2.7% of adults meet these standards, meaning that over 97% do not. The study was conducted by researchers from Oregon State University and the University of Mississippi, and a senior author of the study called the results, quote, sort of mind-boggling. And Wendy, with your wilderness survival training, your bungee jumping and mountain climbing, I know, no doubt you fit in that 3%.
Hey, I'm definitely trying, but John, it's a full-time job trying to keep up with you. I mean, you don't have an ounce of fat on you, so anyway. Well, coming
I'm trying
up,
to follow your lead.